Canelo versus Sergey Kovalev is off, at least for right now. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Now, it looks like the Kovalev fight is not going to happen next for Canelo. I was born ready. Alvarez. Shout out to worldboxingnews.net. Great work. They have an exclusive with Kathy Duva of Main Events, who also promotes Sergey Kovalev for the longest. And the title of it says exclusive without DAZN. Golden Boy increase. Canelo versus Kovalev is off. And it's a fresh article. Make sure you guys head over there and give them the traffic as well. The link is in the description. It says Main Events promoter Kathy Duva has explained the situation between Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Kovalev as it currently stands. As WBN first reported June 24th, Kovalev was targeted by Canelo for a September clash at 175 pounds. At the time, Kovalev was on the verge of finalizing a mandatory with Anthony Yarde, who's his mandatory. WBN speculated December would be the only workable date. Step-aside money for Yarde was mooted, although a low-ball offer was made by Golden Boy that has left Kovalev to contemplate and focusing on his WBO duties. Kovalev's worth in the fight is far from what Duva would like it to be, with little time to negotiate and a lower than DAZN was willing to pay for Miller. A lower, that's what it says. Then DAZN was willing to pay Gerald Miller to fight Joshua. Kovalev is now having to move on. Quote, the Yarde deal is getting done. After all the talk, Golden Boy never made a serious offer. They never made us an offer that was acceptable. They never offered us an acceptable amount for Sergey Kovalev to fight Canelo in September. And that's a quote from Kathy Duva exclusively with World Boxing News. Again, link in the description. She goes on to say, when you consider that Danny Jacobs was paid $15 million to fight Canelo, Golovkin is reportedly promised over $25 million, and Gerald Miller was getting something like $6.5 million to face Anthony Joshua, and Joshua is a guy who is barely known in the U.S., so it makes you wonder. As things stand, Sergey Kovalev would love to fight Canelo, but Golden Boy and DAZN are going to have to get serious if they really want the fight to happen. WBN understands that Canelo Kovalev can still happen if Golden Boy are willing to significantly increase their first bid. A date of late August is on the line for Kovalev's mandatory with Yarde. Things need to be sorted out sooner than later. Canelo is being linked to the likes of Andrade, Jaime Munguia if Kovalev refuses the terms. December, she says, perhaps with some more time to sort things out, Golden Boy and DAZN can find a way to get this done. If not now, then later in the year, said Duva. I hope so, but in any event, Sergey Kovalev is going to have to move forward with plans to fight Yarde in Russia. In the meantime, Golden Boy's offer has left us with no other alternative for the summer but to fight Yarde. It's really weird how she said that, left us with no other alternative, and Yarde is the guy in their division. Asked whether they considered asking Yarde to wait, Duva concluded, quote, no, there was never any talks of putting off the Yarde fight if a September fight with Sergey Kovalev was to materialize. Sergey wants to stay active, so later in the year could work. So, long story short, they're saying the fight could still happen. It's not going to happen next. And for it to happen, they're going to have to stop sending lowball offers or an offer that they deemed as disrespectful for their fighter Kovalev. Listen, I like Canelo. I think he could fight, but the way Canelo is being managed is really, it's becoming like farcical. Like, you know, it's becoming a farce where the diva demands and different things like that are getting like through the roof. It is becoming crazy. There's always weight stipulations and rehydration clauses. For Amir Khan, he had to move up, no rehydration clause, because they didn't fear that Amir Khan was going to outweigh Canelo. And Canelo is Golden Boy's biggest star, and they said the biggest star in boxing. And Golden Boy lets you know that each and every opportunity. Now, we've seen Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, you know, whoever, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, different people use A-side leverage, Miguel Cotto, Sergio Martinez maybe, right, for certain things. But again, with Canelo, it seems a bit overkill. You know, you're claiming you want to fight a light heavyweight champion, a division that you have no priors in, and you won't even send an offer that is comparable to what other people have gotten in their fights with Canelo recently, and or recent high profile fights with like an Anthony Joshua on the same streaming app. Listen, I don't know who's calling the shots at DAZN, but something is awry. Something is really weird. And I think DAZN, on top of their scheduling, they definitely got to work on their consistency. I don't feel like there's any level of consistency. Like, and it's almost weird. Like, how can you offer Triple G? They're saying $15-18 million to fight Steve Rolls on your app, knowing that's not going to move the needle. The numbers never came out for that fight. It was a bogus fight. You know, people weren't really hyped about it. I remember the day of, those types of things. And it doesn't really move the needle to give you like built-in subscribers for life. You're willing to pay that much money, you know, $15-18 million or whatever is reported for Kovalev to fight Steve Rolls. And then a better fight is Canelo Kovalev. Me personally, I have my reservations about that fight happening next. I don't think they should have fought next. I think Kovalev, I want to see Kovalev yard. Those two guys are in the same division. And I want to see Canelo do more at 160 and 168, where he's already currently a champion, instead of skipping out on the talent pools of 168, 160, where he's a champion. He beat Rocky Fielding for a belt, and then he beat Golovkin for a belt, and he just unified with Jacobs. So why would I want to see Canelo overlook Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Boo Boo Andre, Caleb Smith, you know, Caleb Plant, Jose Uzcategui, David Benavidez, jump to 175? It really doesn't make sense. And I understand he has the leverage, the A-side power to do that. But it becomes laughable when you basically avoid or try to avoid the top names at 160, 168 in terms of not fighting them next to look at 175. And then you won't even ensure that gets done by offering Kovalev, you know, peanuts, something that you knew he wasn't going to accept. Really weird strategy from DAZN, especially since they said they had $1 billion budget and they haven't really put on that many huge, big fights. You know, the biggest fight is Canelo Jacobs. Andy Ruiz versus Joshua end up being a good fight because of the drama, but I don't think a lot of people expected that. Therefore, since they didn't expect it to be that good, I don't know what kind of numbers it drew, and they never came out again with these numbers. So I think DAZN just has to get more consistent with what they're doing. Like, it seems counterproductive to pay Triple G all this money to fight Steve Rolls, but then tighten up the purse strings and penny pinch when it comes to Canelo Kovalev, which is a weird fight. So that, to me, it shows something's up. Like, maybe they clout chase and name drop and it got serious and they didn't really want to fight Kovalev right now. So, you know, they offered him something low they knew he wouldn't take, because I can't understand why you wouldn't ensure that fight gets done, especially if you have $1 billion a year budget. Something's up. Something's not consistent. Let me know what you guys think. We definitely working, but you know, it's looking bad for Canelo. A lot of pressure. Charlo's a full champion. Andre's a full champion. They're mentioning his name. Andre's the best fight at 160 that seems feasible. Andre's team said he's down to fight, but Jaime Munguia is another option. Why do I want to see Canelo fight another? They're going to try to bill it as two Mexican fighters on Mexican Independence Day. We seen that with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and it turned out to be a dud. You know, it did good numbers, but I think people are off that. Jaime Munguia didn't even look good in his last fight with Dennis Hogan, nor does he share the same like surname as a legend like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So I don't see it doing those type of legendary numbers. Plus, HBO pay-per-view backed the Canelo Chavez Jr. fight, and they marketed and promoted their fights a bit different than DAZN. DAZN doesn't have the same promotional strategy. They don't have the same built-in fan base and those types of things. So all these scenarios are completely different. I really don't know. I think there'll be action based on the lack of defense of Jaime Munguia and his willingness to come forward and his size, and that's how he fights. He throws punches and stuff, but I really don't see what that fight does for Canelo. Canelo's been in there with Mayweather's and Triple G twice and Erislandy Lara. So what is a Jaime Munguia fight? So I really think DAZN is struggling. They're trying to create these episodes and these fights that turn everyone on, but Canelo don't want to fight Triple G. It sounds like he don't like him. So he don't want to give him the paycheck. He doesn't want to have nothing to do with him. Plus, on top of that, he probably knows the Triple G fight is a tough fight. Triple G is tough. He's durable. And he gave him 2 tough fights to begin with. So it's like they're in between a rock and a hard spot, in between a rock and a hard place, trying to find the perfect marriage of who Canelo could fight without too much risk that also appeases the zone and gives them the type of fight and subscription rise and viewership hike that they want. We'll see how it plays out. Let me know what you guys think. If you're new, consider subscribing to the channel. We definitely working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.